This Baseplan Present videos features the following: a simple way to create an Equipment Repairs Power BI dashboard, focusing on pulling data using the Baseplan Analytics database, joining tables together to create a larger data set, building different types of visualizations and filters, breaking down repair costs by equipment and reasons, creating a calculated field.
Okay, before we start things off, I wanted to actually show everyone what the end result was going to look like from creating this dashboard that's linked back to the Baseplan Analytics database, and talk through some of the areas. And then once we complete that, then we can actually start off with a blank canvas and work our way through it. So we've got some key information at the top, like repair costs, total jobs, work in progress, new and completed jobs in the last 7 days. And we can put some filters here, like maybe year or maybe location, whatever the filters we want. We can look at our make model combination, look at the cost, and then the split out of that cost as well, compared to timesheets or labor and also parts. Over the different periods or the months, we can look at the count of the jobs and the total value of the cost as well. And we can do some cool things down here where we can show the highest value of cost per category and also by reason code for the work, and things like showing me how many things have been down. So how many things have been out of service, and what is the total count of days that has been out of service. And when we click on any of these things, it'll filter everything on the screen just on that data. So let's move across to a blank canvas and we'll go from there. I'm currently logged into a blank page within the Power BI desktop application. And we can see here over on the right, we've connected again our data source to the Baseplan Analytics database. Now in the first session, we were reporting directly on the general ledger, but we can also report against our operational modules as well. And sometimes maybe not every single field is in that table, so we might have to complete a join and bring two tables together. So we can see here I've pulled through the service table and I've also pulled through the fleet details table. When you do pull through two tables on the left here in the model section, Power BI will automatically try and join the tables together so you can report on the data together, but you should always double check this because it might be correct automatically. So we're going to start off by creating a few different visualizations, and maybe we want to have some reporting at the top here that we want to have update automatically. So if we can go over here and click on card, and we can lay out our card up here, and we can basically drag some information on here. So maybe we want to look at the total repair costs for our service work. So we can go to our service table and find total cost and drag that onto the card. You can see here it gives it the name. Maybe we don't want to call it total cost. We can go over here to the section and get rid of the category. So that will remove the name there, and we can give it a title. And we can maybe call it repair costs. Maybe want to center it as well. Now, rather than us going to the next visualization, we can click on this and actually copy it. So we've got the same formatting automatically. And we can go find, maybe we want to look at, we've got the total repair cost, maybe we want to look at the total number of jobs completed. So we can go over here and find job number, and we can drag it onto the field, this middle section. And you can see here what it's done is it's tried to automatically calculate it, but it's given it the first job number. So I can go down here, we can say, no, we want to look at the count. It's giving my count of my jobs. And I can copy and paste again, and do another one. And maybe we want to look at jobs that are currently work in progress. So we can keep the count here, but now we want to do a filter. So we're going to go to the job status and drag that onto a filter. We say all we want to see is jobs that are open. You can see that filter is only applying it to this particular visualization. We can do it again. And maybe we want to look at open jobs that have been created in the last 7 days, for instance. So we can go click on this one and then find the created date and drag that on as a filter. And instead of filtering all these days, we go relative date. We say in the last 7 days. And that'll show me my total jobs in the last 7 days. And you can see here, I haven't actually been updating the title, so I can actually rename these titles. So I can say that this one is total jobs And then maybe this one is going to be work in progress. And this one is new jobs, 7 days. And maybe we want to look at maybe the jobs that were completed in the last 7 days as well. So we can go over here and we can just change the status. Instead of being open, we want it to be posted. We rename this one to completed. So we can see here we've got a few different quick visualizations that we look at, but this is looking at our entire data set. So we can also put a filter up here. So we can click on filter and drag this up in the top corner. And maybe we want to filter on maybe the year. So we can go date created, date hierarchy, and then drag year over here. And it's given us this layout, but we can actually change this and say we want to look at it as a list, for instance. And maybe we don't want our blanks, so we can get all of our basic filtering. We want everything, but we don't want our blanks. Now you can see here, when I click on it, it's changing the data at the top automatically, but it's giving me one selection. A quick way to fix this is to actually go in this middle section and go selection controls and say off. Otherwise you have to hit control. This way I can actually select multiple things now. Now maybe we want to have a table as well. So let's choose table and drag this out, maybe to here. And maybe we want to have a look at our equipment costs, essentially. So maybe we can look at our make model, for instance. So let's go find our make model description. We can drag that on. And then let's go take our total cost like we did before. And that'll show us our total cost for all those different make models. And maybe we want to make it a percentage like we did last time as well. So I can go over here and say show value as a percentage of grand total. And we can rename this as well. So if you want a percentage of total cost, and we can drag this total cost on again so we can see the value and the percentage. And then maybe with your cost management for repairs, you should be also splitting your cost out into timesheets or labor and then and total parts as well. So we can go over here and try and find timesheet costs. There we go, and drag that on. And so that's showing us the amounts, and then we can also find parts cost. So if I go to parts, part costs, that's showing me both. I'm gonna make this a little bit wider. And yeah, maybe we want to filter by the highest percentage. And yeah, we can sort of see maybe 2020, for instance. And now we can see that these numbers are quite high. So it means that we're not filtering on the correct data at the moment. So just looking at this data, I can tell that this is automatically pulling in our total cost of sale for our capital preparation. So all we want to look at is our internal and our external costs for our repairs. So if we go over here and want to do a filter on the entire page this time and go to service type, if we can't find it, you can always start typing in the search. So we can go job type, filters on this page. And we can see here it's including the capital preparation. So what we want is external and internal work. So these numbers are looking a bit better now. We wouldn't expect the numbers to be so high as for our costs. So once we've done that, maybe we want to start looking at our total costs over a period of time as well. So we can pull in another graph here and drag this up. And we want to make this a bit smaller so we can make it a bit wider for our months. And we want to pull in our total costs again. So we can drag total costs on there on the graph automatically. And we want to look at it maybe per month. So let's go by month. This is going to show me 2020, the total month. So maybe if I want to have a look at 2019, I can filter this route and see the total costs for each month. But maybe I also want to look at the total count of jobs created as well. So I can go to job number again and drag that on. But we can drag it on, or we can just actually say to it, we want the job number to be the line values. And that'll automatically show me how many jobs were created each month as well. And I can go back to just looking at 2020 if I wanted to. So I can see the total value and then the number of jobs created in that month as well. Now, maybe we want to create one of our tree maps at the bottom here. And this is an example where maybe we don't have a field in this one. So maybe we want to look at all of our categories, which we can drag on here. But then we look at the total categories by type as well. So I can go to total cost again. So it's going to show me all my different categories and the total costs. And we can maybe look at 2019 and see a bit more data in there. And remember, when we click on any of these things here, it's going to filter automatically and show me the values on the other different visualizations automatically. So maybe we want to make this a bit smaller, and we want to have a pie chart. And this time we want to look at our total cost, but we want to look at it by the service reasons. So we can drag our total costs on again. And let's have a look at reasons. So it's going to show me the reason why we're doing the service work as well. And we can fix this layout to make it a bit neater. So I can get rid of this legend, so we've got a bit more room, and then we can make our data labels show as the category and the data label. We want to get a bit more room on here as well so we can see the full names. And then the last one, maybe we want to look at another table, and we can fix this sizing. And maybe we want to look at the days in repair and then the reason for the days in repair as well. So let's go to our equipment number. So we can drag equipment number over here, and maybe we want to have a look at the reason like we did in this visualization. But then what we want to do is we want to look at the number of days that the jobs have been in repair. And this is an example where we won't actually have potentially a field automatically in the table. So we can actually create what we call a calculated field to give us our data. So what we can do is we can right click and we can go new column. And this is going to allow me to start typing in a formula like I'm in Excel essentially. So it takes a little bit of time to learn the formulas and how they can work, but there's a lot of information online that you can do. So we can say maybe date diff. It's the difference between two dates. So the first date we want to look at is the date created, and then we want the date itself, and then we want to have a look at this information and then look at and deduct that by today's date. And then we want to show it by day. So if we close this off, and we can rename this column as well. So maybe it's days in repair. And so that's going to take today's date and then deduct it from the days that it was created to give us the total count that the equipment is actually being down essentially. So if I hit save, and then what we can do is we can drag that calculated field into this column, into this table here, essentially. So if we want to go up here and see days repair is now here, and I can drag this across, and it's showing me the number of days that it's been in repair, essentially. So if I have a look at 2019, for example, we can look at the total days in repair, and we can click on one of these items here and look at more information about it if we do have any related data. But that's definitely a great exception report that service managers should be looking at, just total number of down days essentially. and really actioning that report. And that just about wraps up today's session. Following the webinar, there'll be a short survey. This will give you the opportunity to request future topics and provide general feedback. I look forward to seeing everyone in a future Baseplan Presents webinar.